And we're back with Rings of Power, this time Season 2, Episode 8, season finale of this show, and oh my god. Season 2 has been incredible. A lot of people are comparing it to, like, okay, Rings of Power, House of Dragon. Rings of Power has gone above and beyond what House of Dragon did, because, not meaning to rag on House of Dragon Season 2, but it felt like we were building up, and then after Episode 4 we just stopped, really. I mean, sure, you had the dragon seed stuff and everything, but it felt like everything else just stopped for a bit. It became a little bit repetitive with everything. This episode, this show, every story is just ramped up throughout the season. Like, the stuff with Galadriel and Elrond has ramped up. The stuff with Adar has ramped up. The stuff with the dwarves has ramped up. The stuff with Sauron and Celebrimbor has ramped up. Nori and the Stranger has ramped up. Stuff with Numenor has also ramped up. Everything has ramped up this season. Every single storyline just kept taking steps up. Yeah, what a season of this show. What a season. Triumphant. So, yeah, let's just get into the finale of this show. Last episode, it was just all action. The whole episode was the battle, and even then we're still not done with the battle. Galadriel's got the 9 rings, she's run off, and Sauron has got Celebrimbor asking him, where did you send them? The dwarves who unfortunately had to turn back their army because King Durin has gone absolutely insane, and that means they can't be there for the elves outside of Eregion, who are under siege. The city is under siege. The orcs have got a way in now. Meaning Elrond, Gil-galad and Arondir are all outside the city walls under attack. Their lives are in danger now, especially Arondir, holy shit. And Adar has now got Nenya. Yeah, things are not going great, so let's figure out how this ends, and let's get into Season 2, Episode 8, the finale of Season 2 of Rings of Power, starting right now. Okay, so since Rings of Power is unfortunately a Patreon exclusive series, there will be no reaction this video. Instead, you'll be getting the after episode review. But for any of you who want a slight glimpse into what you're missing over on the Patreon, here's a few clips. Do not kill him. Do not kill him. What a shot that is. I didn't like you, King, but you can go out as a badass.
I confess my patience wavered, but my faith...
Very Saruman vibes from this guy.
It is called mercy.
The rings of power shall destroy you. And in the end, I foresee one alone shall prove your utter ruin!
There it is. There it is. I'm crying. Okay, so back to the video. What a season. Oh my god. What a season. What a season. Oh my god. You know what? I didn't think I'd be able to do this, but if I'm gonna rank, I am gonna put this episode at the top. Like, usually I like action, I like a good battle, but this episode made me cry. Like, I'm sorry that you on YouTube don't get to see it, but you might not get to see it on YouTube, but I cried in this episode. Every single thing was on fire. Some of them literally. We try and go through the stories. As I was marking them down. Okay, so we started off with the dwarven stuff. we started off. I thought we were going to get a Doran versus Doran fight, but yeah, sometimes it's not about a fight, it's just about a conversation and trying to talk to people. And we got a beautiful conversation between Doran and his dad about the arm wrestling thing. Like, I'm not strong enough to wield a weapon against you. When they were used to be arm wrestling, his dad would always let him lift it a little bit, just to show that he could gain more strength, and basically proving to his son that like there was nothing stronger than his father, and that was the message that Doran took from it. And for a second, it looks like we'd lost the king again. I mean, we did for a while, because then he opened the mithril mines, and then all hell broke loose with the arrival of the Balrog. The Balrog came out and attacked them both. But the king was able to gain a final moment of clarity. He took off the ring and he faced the Balrog head on whilst the cave was collapsing. And what a shot it was of him jumping towards the Balrog with his axe and the Balrog with its sword. And then the clash between them caused the mines to collapse. The Balrog is once again trapped under there. The king is dead. And that was just the intro as well. Visually stunning and heartfelt as well. The dwarves were eventually able to send help to Eregion. We'll get to Eregion in a bit, but Doran himself was not able to arrive. And I said this last episode, like, surely you don't need the whole army to go face off against the king. And thankfully he didn't. He sent most of the army, meanwhile dealing with his father himself. And now a nice hint towards future seasons of what the story of Doran holds, where he's now in a very Game of Thrones type situation. Like the drama between the two of them throughout this season has made people think he's not the rightful heir. He's going to have to deal with other dwarven lords rising up to try and claim the throne, even his brother. So apparently Doran has a brother who we've not met yet. And then there was a final glance towards the rings, and I pray that Doran made a promise. He swore to Disa that he would never touch those rings. So what would he do with them? What should he do with them? He can't destroy them, because we've already proven they can't be destroyed. But yeah, big things and sad things are ahead for Doran, especially if Elrond still holds a bit of a grudge against him for not coming himself to the battle. So, yeah. Then there is the Nori and Halffoot store and Dark Wizard and Gandalf stuff. We finally got the mention of Gandalf, but we'll save that till in a minute. We got the confrontation between the Dark Wizard and Gandalf. And thankfully Gandalf came to help Nori instead of searching for his staff, which was just another one of Tom Bombadil's tests. And that's always the thing about Gandalf. He'll always value the relationships he has above power. And I suppose for some people who were wondering, like me, if it was Gandalf or Saruman would have chosen the power, Gandalf would have chosen his friends. That's the difference between them. But we're not done with the Dark Wizard yet. He showed a little bit of his power and then left. And it's clear he has interest in aligning with Sauron. So now the stores are on their way. They're doing their first migration. Maybe they'll link back up with the Harfoots to try and unite the two factions, and then together they can find what is the Shire. with Poppy and Nori by their side, leading them even. And we got the separation of Nori and the stranger. There was a heartfelt connection between those two, very much like Gandalf and Frodo, or Gandalf and Pippin if you're watching The Return of the King. There's a heartfelt connection between them, and I sincerely hope we see Nori again, because I really like her. Yeah, Gandalf is on his own path now. He's got to eventually link up with Galadriel and Elrond, because I believe it's them three and Saruman who form the Council. I don't know what the Council is, but it's just from that scene in The Hobbit, there was four of them and they were talking about the Council. And, well, they called themselves the Council. Yeah, he got his name. He got the little hint earlier in the season when Nori said he was looking for a Gand. And then all the stores going past him were calling him Grand Elf. And there it is, he gets his name, Gandalf. And then a lovely, lovely moment at the end when he sits down with Tom Bombadil again. He's going to start learning more of his craft, learning more magic. And they sung the song together. I listened to that song repeatedly this morning when I woke up. It's such a beautiful, heartfelt song. It just has a way of lifting your spirit a little bit. And I did cry a little bit. It's making me emotional thinking about that song. I love that song. I'm going to be playing that on repeat. So, yeah, beautiful. There's the Numenor stuff as well. Okay. And it kind of links up with the Pelargir thing. So, Numenor undergoing serious changes, and Elendil's vision came to pass with him riding away in exile from Numenor. Yeah, rounding up all people who were the faithful, who believed in the old ways of aligning with elves. Because Pharazôn has this bitterness to him that he wants to be better than the elves, and that Numenor doesn't need elves. I mean, maybe he's right in a sense with that, but just disregarding the elven heritage that Numenor has and the connections to the elves. Miriel is under arrest. There was Aarion, who at least had the sense to warn Elendil of what was coming and get him out. But I wonder if we should get more stuff with her later on. And Elendil is heading off to his other son, Anarion, who I hope we should see in the third season. Hopefully it's not going to be like House of Dragon when it's said like Daeron is on his way, it just shows a blue dragon and then we don't see Daeron at all. And Elendil has got something in his possession, a lovely looking sword by the name of Narsil. We caught a glimpse of it in season 1 in the background when Galadriel was with Miriel and the Palantir. We caught a glimpse of Narsil there. And yeah, it's officially in the hands of Elendil, which will eventually go to Isildur. Well, actually, no, it won't, because I don't know if Isildur carries Narsil. No, because it breaks when... Yeah, it will come into the hands of Isildur for a second, when he cuts off the ring from Sauron's hand, and then eventually it just lays in wait, shattered, until Aragorn picks it up. And I love the moment when Elendil unsheathes it and looks at it. It's so reminiscent of when Elrond gives the sword to Aragorn. So reminiscent of that. And I loved it. And it's also crossing over into Pelargir as well, where Kemin has now taken over of Pelargir, and Isildur was this close to getting Estrid by his side, and led to a few awkward moments with, what was his name, Hagen, the Estrid's betrothed, But yeah, she's still in Pelagia. So's Hagen. So's Theo, under the command of Hagen, Kemin, and Isildur is on his way back to Numenor. So we are going to get a reunion between Aarion and Isildur, and then Isildur knows about what's gone on with Elendil, so he's got to link back up with him at some point. And I want to see the look on Aarion's face, because she did all this. She helped overthrow Miriel because she believed that he was dead. She believed that Isildur was dead, and when she finds out that he's not, will she feel regret of what she did to Miriel? And then the balls on well, I don't even want to call them balls, the nerve on Kemin to hug, embrace Isildur after what he did to Valandil. Ooh! I want Isildur to kill him. Isildur should be the one to kill him. Valandil was his friend. And Kemin is trying to hook up with Aarion, Isildur's sister. And then the rest of the stuff was the stuff with Sauron, Celebrimbor, and all of that. Sauron was taking his time with Celebrimbor. Just slowly shooting him. One after another, and then just Celebrimbor finally standing up to him and getting a good word in before he died. Saying, you say that you control the rings, but you don't. You are their prisoner. And how true is that, Sauron, Lord of the Rings? He said that. He said it. But yeah, an emotion from Sauron as well. I think he's actually showing fear of what Celebrimbor is saying is true. He knows to a degree that it's true. He knows he's a slave to his own rings as much as the people who he's placed them in the hands of. And it is true. Like, he loses his physical body when the One Ring gets cut from his hand, and when the One Ring is destroyed, it destroys him as well. So he is a prisoner. He's bound to those rings, at least that one ring. He spares Celebrimbor and then leaves him pressed up against the wall. How brutal is that? How sadistic is that? He could have just let him down slowly, but no, just humiliate him a little bit further by sticking him up there. And then comes the great betrayal. The orcs find Sauron, and he uses them to overthrow Adar. I knew there was no good way out for Adar this season. I knew there was no good way out. I knew he was going to die. I didn't expect it to be the way it was, though. Because Adar, for being the villain of 2 seasons, for being the villain of the last season's battle and being the villain of this season's battle, he always had good intentions, and he was willing to make a peace. He was willing to make a peace between the elves and him, and his orcs, his Uruk, and just seal off Mordor, never make war again. Everyone just stays in their own lands. And that's it. He wanted peace. He even saw a glimpse of him before he was turned. When he was wearing the ring, and when he took it off, he immediately went back. And then the orc that was hesitant with him all this season, what was his name, Glug or something like that, Glug, betrays him, just stabs him, and then all the orcs swarm him, just like they did with Sauron in the flashback at the beginning of the season. Full circle moment where Sauron sees Adar die in the same way that Adar watched him die the first time, or die. But Adar didn't see a good way out for him, but you know what? An ironic way for him to go out. And then the fall of Eregion. Eregion, the greatest elvendom city in Middle-earth. Done. This season, it wasn't a victory. And even towards the end, when Poppy was giving her little speech, it reminded me of like Sam's speech at the end of Two Towers, but a pessimistic version, a negative version, because Sam's speech is always like, darkness has to pass, a new day will come, and things will be good again. And Poppy's talking about when some things are broken, they're just broken, and you have to move on from it. And we're just watching Eregion fall in the background. Yeah. So yeah, it wasn't a victory. It wasn't a victory. It was a survival. You survived, and we got a face-off between Sauron and Galadriel. A decent fight, a very decent fight. I love a good sword fight myself. And then we're watching Sauron and Galadriel fight. This is what they've been wanting. Well, this is what we've been wanting. We want a face-off between the two most powerful beings in Middle-earth. I mean, Galadriel's not there yet, and Sauron is far from where he's going to be. But still, two very powerful characters that we're familiar with going head-to-head like this. And he's just playing tricks with them the whole time. He doesn't even break a sweat. She's fighting for her life, and he's just like, yeah, bitch, I can do this, this, and this. Fighting with the crown as well, Morgoth's crown. And he stabs her with it as well. And it does technically count as a Morgoth blade, like Frodo was stabbed with at Weathertop. It does technically count. It's a Morgoth point. It's not a blade, but it's a point. And she's able to resist him one last time and leaps herself from the cliffs, taking Nenya out of his grasp. He's got the 9. He managed to pick up the 9. Utterly destroyed her, and yeah, she just managed to keep the Nenya away from him. And we got finally a link up between our 4 main elves of the show. Oh well, it would have been 5, but Celebrimbor is dead. Our 4 main elves: Gil-galad, Galadriel, Elrond, and Arondir. Now, only one of them is still around in Lord of the Rings, so I do fear for Arondir. I was fearing for him last episode because I thought he would die when he faced off against Adar. But no, he was here. He's still alive. And Elrond had to trust in Nenya. He had to trust in the ring to save Galadriel. And I've got to say, I do kind of like seeing Gil-galad out of his gowns and stop being the regal king. I kind of liked him in these last few scenes. I mean, I've liked him a bit as well, but taking him out, it's amazing what you can do for a character when you take them out of their gowns, take off their crown, and just have them sit with another character and have a conversation for a while. It's amazing what you can do for a character like that. Oh yeah, and Sauron, he kills Glug. That orc made it so far. He betrayed Adar. He struck the final blow to Adar for Sauron, and then Sauron just kills him straight away. He's back to ruling through fear. Like, those orcs must be... They have a terrible existence. They betrayed Sauron because he was ruling them through fear, and he gave them no respect. And then Adar cared for them for a while, and then he became so obsessed with catching Sauron that he lost their trust, and so they saw Sauron as the better of two evils. So they kill Adar, and now they're back to being ruled through fear again. They would have been better off keeping Adar alive, but it's not like they knew that. And now we move on to season 3. I mean, it's probably not going to be until 2026 because it takes 2 years to make these things. But you know what? This season has absolutely been fantastic. And you know what? They said at the end there, when we had the elves together, they said we're in a valley to the north. I think I know where they are, or where that place is going to be. Is that place going to be Rivendell? That place is going to become Rivendell at some point. Yeah, very excited. Sauron is sweeping across Middle-earth now. And now the elves have got to make a decision. Do they want to attack him, or do they want to pull back and get ready for him to attack them? And I think maybe this is the turning point for Galadriel, where she realises that she can't be the one to face off against him, because she's tried that now. She got what she wanted to face off with him, and she failed once again. So is this, and not to mention the white gown, very reminiscent of the Galadriel we know from Lord of the Rings. So is this the point when she realises that she can't be the one, she has to leave it to others? I mean, Tom Bombadil said it in the episode he was introduced. Great deeds are for those who they're... Great deeds are for the hands of those they're placed in. And Galadriel has to realise that's not her. She's meant to guide, she's not meant to do it. So, yeah. A fantastic season. I'm so happy that this show picked... I mean, I liked season 1 a lot. Season 2 just picked it up in a big bad way. Big bad way. I'm surprised not a lot of people are talking about this show. I'm surprised. And you know what? You want to know who I think the standout of this season is? Well, let's see. I don't know who the cast is. No, I'm going to look at Rings of Power cast. Rings of Power cast. Charlie Vickers. Sauron, Anatar, Halbrand, whatever you want to call him. He's had many names. What a performance he put in this season. Because I think first season we were like, okay, what does this guy bring to the table? Like, what kind of character is he? And then towards the end we were just waiting for him to, like, okay, he's Sauron now. What can he do as Sauron? But we didn't get enough of that. This season, just having him all the time as Sauron, or Anatar, but Sauron. Just watching his performance is amazing. He's so subtle with it. Yeah, Charlie Vickers was incredible in this season. Very good performance as Sauron. He can show a little bit of smugness, complete calm, a little bit of weakness, even emotion in this last episode, as we saw. Yes, this season has just been fantastic. I'm so happy that Lord of the Rings has picked up like this again. There may still be some people who don't like this show, but you know what? I don't agree with you. This show has been amazing this season, and I can't wait to see where we go from here. So, yeah, that is all we've got for this episode and this season of Rings of Power. Until next time, we are over and out. Bye!